Aylesbury Vales 96.2 FM Mix 96. We are in Aylesbury, we are in Wendover, and we're in Tring. Afternoon, it's Nick, 5:15. Bit of the darkness for you, and Christmas time done at the Bell's End, and Dasher Bedingfield coming up for you. It's live and local right now, though, and A and E are here. Hello. Hello. Hey, yeah. How are you?
Not bad, you?
I'm very well, yeah. You ready for Christmas?
Yeah, pretty much. All the shopping's done.
Yeah? Lists written out?
Yeah. Off the cover.
Got any guitar for a gig? So, I was going to say, what have you got written down in your list?
Got some Xbox games, some just guitar stuff.
Okay.
Of course. A lot of video stuff, really. Yeah.
New drummer?
Yeah, that would be nice, actually. Yeah, we are looking for a drummer. But I don't think you can fit them in the stockings. So.
Well, you could be surprised these days.
Yeah, that's true.
What they do over there off Lapland. They can magic anything up.
All yells.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. They could, like, make a drummer man for you.
I can see that, yeah.
Drummer for yourself. But you better not get the wrong end of the stick, because he might just think you're after a little drummer, and he'll just make a wooden man with a drum, which would really help. Or one of them. So you need a drummer for your band, obviously. How long have you been without a drummer for?
Last year, our drummer, we went our different ways. It wasn't really working out. We just got back together recently. But yeah, it just sounds better with drums overall. So be on the lookout. So at the minute you've got obviously you two, and you're doing
rhythm guitar, lead guitar, and the vocals really. Harmonica as well.
Yeah, I'll play that.
Tambourine sometimes.
Harmonica.
Yeah.
Excellent, get in there. Okay, so people that don't know who A&E are, who are A&E?
A&E, we met when we were 11 at the college, and we
How old are you now?
We're year 13, but it's at college.
Oh, okay.
What's it?
So what's that? 18, 19, is it?
Yeah.
What guess?
Yeah. But first performed at the local talent show.
Oh yeah.
With Wonderwall, which we won overall. So that's really good. That's like our first taste.
And that was how old when you were? What? 11?
11 or 12, yeah.
Pretty good going.
And then when we were about 13, we had a gig at the Bedgrove School.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And looked at us on the PA and all that kind of stuff.
Yay high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still yay high now.
Yeah. And then we had an Elgiva gig, and just recently we've had pub gigs and stuff. Going around the area, like Rose and Crown.
Just going around the local area and stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent, cool. So what, who influences you music-wise, would you say? If people wanted to know what A&E sounded like, I mean, do you sound like a particular band, or do your influences sort of like come together? And
which our influences come together. We don't sound like one particular band. We do a few covers that it's for our own stuff.
Yeah.
Recently, but I'm heavily influenced by the Chili Peppers. As many of my friends will know.
Not a bad band to be influenced by.
No, that's a good band, John Shelley. But I try to combine all my experiences into one.
Yeah.
So I like to create my own stuff.
Yeah. So it's like a bit of the Chili's and a bit of
Razorlight.
This and a bit of that. Razorlight.
Razorlight. When we first started out, R.E.M. was a big influence. Man on the Moon. Awesome stuff. Yeah. Recently, Palanutini, like songwriting style, like kind of acoustic. Definitely.
Yeah, Bob Dylan actually as well.
Bob Dylan as well. Oh yeah, your harmonica was a bit of Bob Dylan action. Yeah. Love it. Okay, cool. So if people were going to go and see A&E, that would be the sort of thing. Would that be the sort of thing they would hear? Sort of a bit of Chili's and a bit of, or do you sort of put it all together and say?
Yeah, if we have a pub gig, we might do some Beatles stuff, anything, whatever the audience is really.
Yeah, just generally, you just want to appeal to our audience and have a good time.
Excellent. Which is the main thing, hey?
Yeah.
Excellent, cool. Right, we're doing Dasher Bedingfield. This is these words, and then we'll be back with A&E on Live and Local. 4 minutes, please. I do hope it's Dasher Bedingfield, otherwise it won't sound very live at all. 7 Mix 96. That with A&E on Live and Local. You still alright?
Yeah, we're still here.
Good, still here, not bored at all.
No.
Not even with Dasher Bedingfield playing.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. She's not as good as her brother. Anyway, so we were talking about your influences earlier, like the Chili's and some Bob Dylan harmonica action, and Razorlight. Do you, with your gigs, do you take songs and sort of more cover them, or do you write all your own stuff and just take the influences from those bands together?
We started off like Jim's doing all covers, only 1 or 2 of our songs, but recently we started like doing our own stuff. But when we do a cover, we try to make it our own. Yeah, so sort of change it. Yeah. But not so much, but still recognisable.
But we had a gig at Bedgrove Park, and we did quite a lot of cover songs, and we did like one of our own songs.
Yeah.
And that afternoon we went to see REM and with his uncle, and he started humming along to our song. We thought, oh, we might as well do our own song, so we started writing them, and then since then we've been writing our own stuff really.
It's just at the end of the day, you don't want to be remembered for doing something else's work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You want to be remembered for doing your stuff. Do you both sit down and write a track then, or how does it work at the minute? Does one of you write it and then
We just jam, really.
Yeah.
That's how the best songs come about. You can't really say you sit down and sing and write a song.
This is how we're going to do it.
But, you know,
Yeah.
just play together.
I mean, like, we had a gig coming up, and we just started just jamming, going through the songs, and then suddenly we like started playing a few chords. I thought, oh, that sounds quite good. We just carried on playing, and literally one afternoon we wrote a song, played it on the Sunday really.
Love it.
So it's kind of really spontaneous, kind of.
So it's just sort of getting together and doing a bit of jamming and messing about, and then if something sounds right, then just going with that.
Yeah.
So do you do like music first? Do you get your music first, and then sort of put words to it, or do you just sort of jam and sing, and if something comes together, then you do it, or what? Because writing, I would think, would be the hardest thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so music is quite easy to come up with, but some of the songs we're still trying to work on with our lyrics. But yeah, I think I make the music part really. It comes up with the lyrics, but I'm starting to dabble in that as well.
Dabble in the old lyric wars. Oh yeah. Because it must be like you said, with the jamming and stuff, or just messing about, playing a few chords, you can't do the song quite easily. But with the words, it must, because you can't just sort of go, here's a word, we're going to use that, or here's a line, we're going to use that. It's got sort of sound. Yeah.
Like pick the subject and then write it down. Like the first song we wrote was like an anti-bullying song called "Leave Me Alone," and we just thought about if we were bullied, whatever, what the situation would be in, what we would say.
So sort of try and put your sort of words in from perspective.
Yeah. Well, we're quite young. We haven't really. We had like experiences. We had to base on other people's experiences, write it down. But when we grow older, obviously we have more experience. We get to write them.
Have you got a website, guys, that you want to plug and get information to the masses that are Aylesbury Vale?
We would like to say our website. We haven't actually got a pop on at the moment, but we're making do with MySpace.
Everyone does the MySpace.
Yeah, on MySpace.
If you're not on MySpace, you don't know, you haven't lived.
Exactly.
You haven't got a website if you haven't got a MySpace.
MySpace.com/A&E Gigs.
A&E Gigs. All one word, yeah?
Yeah.
Is A&E with an and, or is it with a plus?
With an and.
With an and. Okay. So it's www.myspace.com/A&E Gigs.
Yeah, that's the one.
All one word. What can they get on there?
Information, when we're performing stuff. When I put some of our material, that hopefully you'll hear.
We've got like a video from the Rose and Crown.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so videos of some live gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And did you say they can get music?
Yeah.
From there as well.
Hopefully you'll set some on tonight. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Okay. Brilliant. Guys, thank you. Oh, actually, before you go, have you got gigs coming up after Christmas that you want to plug for?
Just go around the pub areas, really.
Yeah, still trying to get gigs at the moment.
It's quite busy this year for gigs. We're all booked up, but hopefully, really go for us.
So if you're a pub, or you're going to a pub a lot, maybe it's your local, or maybe you are a landlord, I do believe is the word, and you want a upcoming band that sounds a bit like the Chili's, with a bit of Bob Dylan harmonica action going on,
Absolutely.
then go to www.myspace.com/A&E Gigs, or just find out where A&E are and get them gigging in your pub.
Yeah, that's the general way to go.
Thank you very much. That was a public service announcement. Guys, thank you. Have a good Christmas, and I hope Santa brings you your drummer.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Cheers, bye.
Thanks, guys.
Beautiful. I won't need a lot of editing either.